I'm going to show you an application today called Live Binders. There won't be an assignment associated with it, so I'll go through it rather quickly. And I'm showing it to you because it's a kind of a unique organizational structure. It's slightly older. It's a few years old. I know of districts that like it and use it, and so I thought I'd make you aware of it. You can go to livebinders.com. You can sign up using this link for a web-based account, and it's completely online. So unlike Google Drive or Dropbox where you can sync it up with your desktop, this is something you store in the cloud. I have an account here, so I'm going to log in. Okay. Now, there's several reasons we're here, two actually. One is I'll show you briefly how to create a binder and how to make it work. But the other reason is because there are binders that have been made public up there, and it might be a place that you might be interested in looking for particular resources. So let's start first by trying to make a binder. The controls are up here. Click New Binder, and we'll give it a name. Integrating Technologies, and the description. You can give it tags to make it searchable, and you can decide whether it's going to be personal or what category it fits into. So I'll pick education. Now you can make this public where everybody can view the binder, or you can keep it private where people you choose can see the binder. And the way that we do this in Live Binders is to create an access key. So some form of text here that they will need to get in. So I could say Ramapo binder key. And I would tell my students that this is what they needed to be able to get into this Live Binder. And now I'm going to create the binder. Now the simplest explanation for how this works is that there are a series of tabs along the top, and you can create subtabs to be associated with each set of tabs if you like. And depending on your account access, whether you're paid or non-paid, you can do multiple levels of tabs. And each tab represents a resource. So I'm going to start by creating some resources underneath the first tab. I'm not going to worry so much about the first tab right now, but I'll put those underneath. And in order to do that, let me come over here. I've stacked up a few URLs of some websites. So that's one thing I could put in there. I can pull down this menu and I can say add a new sub-tab. I can give it a title, put in the URL, and insert it. And there it is. There's Edmodo. I'm going to come back to tab 1. I'm going to add a new sub-tab, Crockett. And actually, that wasn't the thing to do. I'll put the address in here, and I'll put the title over here, and I'll say insert. Now you can see I have links to two. I have links to Edmodo, and I have links to Crockett. Let me do a couple of others real quick. EduBlogs. Again, to be associated with this top tab, I'll put them here. Add a sub-tab. EduBlogs. Insert. And maybe one more just for the heck of it. I'll just take Skype. Oops, sorry. Oh, I think I missed it there. Oh, there it is, Skype. Okay, so I've got my 4 links associated with that tab. When I click on tab 2, I don't see them. So links are one thing you can store there. These links I have here or actually to Google Docs. So since it's on the web, I can do it. Anything that I can get a URL to, I can easily put in here. So I'm going to say I'll just say worksheet 1. This is something I've constructed for them, and I'm going to insert it over here. And you can see that the Google Doc comes right up. Let me do one more. Great. Now, if I don't need this third tab, I can simply come in here and delete it. And there are some other controls that you have on the tabs. So my options would be to add a new tab, which I could do. I could add a sub-tab, which we've done. I could copy a tab, paste it, bring it to another binder, clear the contents, so get rid of all the contents and sublinks, delete it, move it left, move it right, more options. Okay, so basically how I control them. The last thing I can do is I can actually set a color. Not the most progressive of color tools, but if you're good with your RGB colors, you could do it there as well. Okay, so now I've got a green and I've got a blue. If I want to see my completed binder, first of all, that will save the binder, successfully saved, and bring me back here. Now, when I click on the binder, I'm seeing it as someone else would see it. So clicking on Overview, clicking on Tab, and now I've got my sub-tabs, nothing associated with them as of yet. And it comes up as a link in many cases, opening in a new tab so I don't lose my live binder. Here's EduBlogs. This one managed to embed itself, still with the link to get to the site. Grokkit, Edmodo. When I come to the second tab, I've got a worksheet 1 with my Google Doc. Now, I did have to go in and put the appropriate sharing permissions on Google Docs, because if I had left this doc private, it would have been blocked from the Google side and we wouldn't have seen it here. Okay, so you're going to have to get the permissions right on the Google side. And there's worksheet 2. To re-enter my live binders, I can come here and say Edit. Let's say tab 1 is Web Tools. And I can leave it like that. Or if I want it to be fancy, I could create some kind of document to sit in this space. Put it on Google, put it somewhere out on the web, gain a URL to it, and include that so that cover page would sit in here when we click the tab, but before we'd click the sub-tabs. So to prove that point, I just went out and created a Google Doc. I set its permissions so that I could share it generally, and I'm pasting that URL in here. So that's a simple, quick version of what I'm talking about. Now, if I wanted this to look a little fancier, I may have created this as an image, saved it purely as an image, and then it would fill the entire space without the docs controls, etc. But I didn't want to take the time to do that. So let's see how that works. I'll come back to my binders. It may take a second. And now when I enter the binders by clicking on them and I click Overview, I click the Web Tools link, you can see that that document loads right in here. You can also see that if I had taken a picture of it, a screenshot or something, or if I'd constructed it as an image, I would have been able to fit it right in there and make that work even a little fancier. Another option would have been I could have posted a Google form in here to get feedback from people on what they thought about the links. So I could have made this a little more interactive not capturing that information in live binders, but redirecting it over to Google Forms and ultimately into a sheet. So depending on how creative you are with this, you can make it work for a number of different things. Now, we've looked at linkable things. We've looked at anything we can get on the internet and we can link to, we can essentially get to in this space. But what about something that we don't want to link to? What about a document that we want to pass to somebody and have them download? Well, that's the other option here. And to do that, I'll go come back out to the main area and I'll go to File, Uploads. Now you can see I uploaded one file previously, but I'd like to upload another one. So I go to File, Uploads, Add Files. There's File 2. As a matter of fact, I'm going to use my Shift-click method that we discussed in an earlier video, and I'm going to get files 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now notice, these are docs. These are Word documents. They're not Google Docs. And you can see that they're stacked up in there now, and they're ready for upload. So I can hit my Start Upload button. That's happening very quickly. So now they're all uploaded. And you can see that they're now in the Manage Upload File section. My recently uploaded files are checked by default, and this previous one is not checked anymore. And the reason is at this point, we have the opportunity to add them to binders. This one's already been done, so we could recheck it actually. I'll check all 5 and I'll say Add to Binder. And I'm going to have to pick the binders. So you can see there's a first binder, which you get as introductory. There's Integrating Technologies, which is where I want it. And I could make a new binder if I wanted. And where do I want to place these? I think I would like to place these in a sub-tab. And I'll just add them at this point. Okay, let me go back to my binder, edit, and see what I have. These were added to a top tab, unfortunately, so that wasn't the best outcome. But we can move them. All I have to do is grab this, say Add to a subfolder, paste that in there. And what am I going to call this one? I will call this one File. Looks like that was File 5. I'll insert that. Maybe I'll change this heading up here to say Downloads. I'm going to take that out because I put that in a sub-tab already. Oops, sorry. I'm going to come over here to number 3 and I'm going to grab this address. And I'll come back to Downloads and I'll add another sub-tab. File 4. Put that in there and insert it. Now, if that's actually, I think that was actually File 3. So let's put that as File 3. And then let's take File 3 here, and I can delete that tab. Now here's File 4. So I'm going to claim the URL from there. I'm going to add it. Down here. I'm going to insert it. And then go back to 4 since I've reclaimed that link since I made a mistake previously. And I am going to delete that tab. Okay, that was getting a bit repetitious, so I paused the video and I completed the work for you. And I can see that I've got now files 1, 2, 4, 3, and 5. So that looks good, except I'd like to change the order of some. So I'm going to come to this sub-tab, and I am going to move it left. I believe that fixes all my problems. By moving these left and right, I can get them in order.